How you doing, Mr. Cooley?
Good. How are you today?
Very well. How long have you been coaching for football at PV?
This will be year 8.
Year 8.
Yeah.
Awesome. What made you want to coach here at PV?
I've always been trying to get over here at Pleasant Valley High School, and just happened to work out 8 years ago. The job opened up, and was able to land it.
Mr. Cooley, did you play football in college or any other high school?
Yes, all through high school, I played 3 sports: baseball, basketball, football, and played football at College of the Siskiyous.
How long have you been in Chico?
Been in Chico since 1992. Came down here to go to school at Chico State and got lucky enough to get a job and stick around.
What made you stand out among all the applicants?
That's a great question. I think that's probably a question better suited for Mr. Shepard, who hired me. I think probably the overriding factor was trying to create a culture here at Pleasant Valley High School, a culture of positivity.
What are 2 of the most prominent mistakes you have made during your coaching career?
The most prominent mistakes? I think early on it was probably, myself being a young coach and being too fiery, expecting people to know more than what they should know. I feel like it was my job to go ahead and teach them the sport that we needed them to learn. So I expected more than what needed to be expected.
Yeah. What is your favorite aspect about the sport of football?
The hitting. Love the hitting of the sport.
Dang.
Yep, just being able to go out there and hit someone as hard as you possibly can and not get in trouble for it.
So how do you define success for the freshman, junior varsity programs?
I think for the freshmen and the JVs, it's all about learning the sport, and once they get up to us, as long as they can tackle, block, and learn our offensive terminology, then I think it's a success for those guys. If they win and they win league championships, that's a bonus. At the varsity level, it's section titles and state championships.
How will you gain a player's trust or a new student to the team?
I think it's about honesty, being open and honest with them, explaining expectations, explaining where we are with our program right now, and what they can expect and how they need to act and how they need to perform in order to get on the field.
What conditioning do you do to keep your players in top shape and ready for big games like Almond Bowl or big tournament games?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we've hired a strength coach over the last 2 years now, Marcus Dorn, for Dorn Performance Training. Brought him in, so he's given us a lot of extra ideas and extra tips to keep these guys in condition and hopefully play at their potential.
How would players on your team describe you?
How would they describe me? Short, fiery Italian guy that's super, super loud and intimidating.
What does your family think of you being a football coach?
They love it. It's hard during the season to try to combine all that together, being away from the family for the majority of the time, but it's something that we've been used to for over 20-something years now, and so it's a fun event for everyone to go to, and it's been part of our family for a long time.
What is your definition of leadership?
Definition of leadership is someone who can take charge and promote positivity within a unit, at the same time get them to excel above and beyond what a normal person normally would.
What subject do you teach here at Pleasant Valley?
I teach mathematics and physical education.
How come you chose those subjects?
I'm a big sports guy, always have been, and felt like I really wanted to go into sports avenue, so that was one reason why I chose physical education. And then mathematics, I always felt like I could do a better job teaching math than the teachers that taught me at that time, and I really enjoyed helping guys or girls that didn't like mathematics. I was one of those people that didn't like math also, so I always felt like I could do a better job of teaching them because I understood where they're coming from and how they feel.
What is your favorite thing about PV?
I think the Viking family part of it, the positivity, the culture that's here, it's always high standards, and I feel like that the students and administration do a great job here of continuing that.
So what period of the day is your favorite? Throughout all 7, which period is your favorite?
As long as it's a good day, I like all days. Yeah. All periods every single day.
So what are your thoughts on House of Blue?
Love the House of Blue. The way that you guys do the things that you do and how you promote our school and our positivity and our culture, it's incredible. Mr. Peck does a great job, and you guys that learn from him and are able to take this and go out into the real world and use this later on, I think it's huge. It's a big part of Pleasant Valley High School, and you hear that across the community consistently.
So if you could have any other job, what would it be?
Any other job, if I had to go back and do it all over again, probably be police officer or firefighter, something like that.
Did you get overall good grades as a kid when you were in high school and college and all?
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. My mother wouldn't let me, so I think I received 1D in my high school career, and that was my freshman year, and I thought that was the end of the world, and ever since then it was, all A's and B's from there on out.
If you couldn't work for PV, which school would you pick?
Probably dream job would be University of Southern California, USC Trojans, any college gig, but if you're looking around this area, PV's the only job to have.
So what is a pet peeve that you have about the students here at PV?
When they don't do what they're asked to do.
What do you like about the PV students here?
I say overall, I believe that genuinely they're kind and caring, and they're here for the right reasons. There's only those few CGRs, I call them can't get rights, that ruin it for everybody else. So those people that are constantly getting suspended and getting in fights and stuff like that. But for the majority of the time, I would say over 95% of our students are all here doing the right things.
If you could be a high schooler again, like a high school student, would you want to be a high school student again? Yeah,
I think that was a really good time. I had a great time in high school. If I could go back and do it over again, there's some things I'd probably do differently. But for the most part, I always have that movie, I think Back to 17 or whatever it was. That's, if you can always go back and redo something better, it'd be a great plan.
What is one thing you love about being an adult?
I get to do what I want, right. For the most part. Yep.
America. What is one thing you hate about being an adult?
Responsibility. Having to go ahead and pay the bills and pay the taxes and, those things like that.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think represents Pleasant Valley High School the most?
I think it has to come down to the students. The students are the ones that make the place great or make the place not great. The 8 years I've been here, I've seen a steady increase in this place being incredible, and I think it all boils down to the students.
So were you attending here when Aaron Rodgers was a student?
I was not. I was not a coach here at that time. I came over probably about, 6 years after that. Was able to coach his brother out at Butte College for 1 year, though.
So who, in your opinion, has the most fun with teaching? Which teacher here has the most fun with their job?
The most fun, I would say, Mrs. Tallarico does a pretty good job of having fun. Mrs. Volk does a good job of having fun. Yeah, those are probably the two top. Miss Burton, for sure.
What grade of high schoolers are the coolest people? Like, which grade is the most cool?
That's hard. That's a hard one. You see the freshmen come in that really don't have a clue, so they got to build up. The seniors, I would say, are probably the coolest for the beginning part of the year, and then once that January hits and everyone's on senioritis, they just want to get out of here. So probably the junior class. They're the ones that got to help build it and sustain it all year long because they know they're going to be the top dogs that following year. So I'd probably say juniors.
So what is your opinion on extending the lunch times here?
My opinion on extending lunch times? That would be great if we could. I'm okay with that.
So if you could change Pleasant Valley in any way, what would you change?
I think the biggest thing would probably be a safer environment, and the fact that we don't have the suspensions, we don't have the vaping on campus, we don't have just all the negative things that happen on campus. So less drama, and people just show up, do your job, have a good time, and then go out in the real world and be a productive citizen.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys very much. All the wrinkles.